Hey there YouTube, here's a quick look at the Angel Feather deck that was in one of the videos last week.
Alright, being told to do this against my own will. I'm part of his team, and I guess I'll start. Grade 0. Yeah, what's this name? Miracle Feathers Nurse. Sorry, I'm horrible with names, so I realized that throughout this video. Basically it's the Gordial chain. Reason why I choose this over just standard Kyriel builds is pretty simple. This is a lot more consistent. It goes +1 like I love doing, and it does give you the option to swap, though most of the time I never swap. Alright, let's move that away. Start the triggers. Standard 4 crit. Straightforward stuff. More 4 crit. We'll get to in a minute why I chose 8 crits. 4 draws. Again, we'll discuss that in about 2 seconds. And then the 1 second, obvious is obvious. 4 heals. Reason why I went 8 crits, 4 draws, 4 heals is, first off, I don't like stands. I feel stands are just as offensive crits, but they don't have this surprise factor of the crits. Attacking your opponent and critting is something they can't calculate, as where I can calculate to stand. So against double grapplers, it's pretty easy to play around their plays. It's not that hard. Draws, offense, defense. Heals, offense, defense. So I get 8 triggers for the offense, defense. Works both times. Doesn't really matter too many. And then the crits for the push power. Personal choice. It's what's been working for me. Obvious is obvious. Since I'm running the Gordial chain, gotta have 4 of these. It's a must. If not, you're bad. 4 perfect shields. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4. More personal choice. I find running 4 guarantees I'm going to have at least 1 or 2. Next up. Here's where it gets a little funny. Only 2 vanilla 8Ks. Why this deck doesn't have this sweet number of hitting 20? At least my build. Angel Feathers can hit the sweet 20, sometimes 21. I don't like it. I have my reasons, and I'll explain it later in the video. But 2 of these is they're just great to have. Any more though, it's gonna clutter for what's coming up. Yep, I got 2 of her. Don't know her name. Not gonna read it upside down.
Battle Cupid Noisel. Thank
you, announcer. This card's amazing. I hated it when it first came out. I had 4. Tried it, hated it, didn't really understand Angel Feathers. A couple weeks later, without it, decided to try 2. I'm in love with this card. It's amazing, game-breaking. If you watch the videos, it's won me games. This card is just flat-out amazing. If I could fit 2 more in replace of these 2, I would. But because the 8K does get in there sometimes, it's kind of needed, especially when they're behind my Vanguard. But they're just great. You know, I can't tell you how many times where I'm going to play this, guard, the switch happens, drop the grade 2, come back with the grade 0. Now I'm able to fully block what I need to block. And 2 of these. Why? It's very easy for this deck to match damage and get more, because I like to take a lot of damage. Reason why is, if I take a lot of damage early on, I'm riding my grade 3, I'm at 4 damage, my opponent's at 1 or 2 most likely, because I'm always attacking the rear guard, which is how I play. Works. Basically, now I'm having my big boost behind our Gordial, and odds are they're going to let it go. Great, now I'm going to start healing, because they're not going to let a Gordial go through when they're at 4 damage. They're going to perfect shield or over shielded, so the Vanguard doesn't hit. Well, by that time, a Gordial is useless. I need to get in hard, get in fast, and the problem is, these are quote-unquote late-game boosters, but because I take a lot of early damage early, I don't block anything early unless it's going to be a game-breaking early game hit. I'll take it all, because I'm going to heal it all. I mean, you see in the videos, it's not hard for me to heal. Moving on to grade 2, so it's 14 grade 1s. All my decks normally have that. It just really works well, the number. Need I say more? This swap almost never goes off. Actually, this swap does go off sometimes. It's kind of mainly if I have a draw trigger to get a crit trigger, just for the extra 10k, or a heal trigger. This deck's all about the swap. Gotta have it. Again, huge lifesaver. Since I'm taking tons of damage early, by grade 2, I'm swapping out to get Aggrodils out of my damage zone. I swear, this card it's what breaks this deck. It's disgusting. It's just a bigger version of the shield block, and man, if she was only 9,000, I'd be in heaven. Here's how I force my opponent to block stupid stuff. No one likes their, opponent drawing extra cards, and I'm never really flipping damage for other than Aggrodil. So I wasn't using these before. Then I'm like, well, I have all this extra damage. I need to start flipping it. So went through what was available and came across these, and I have 4. Really, I think we have like 7 or 8 of these things right now. 3 is a good number. It was a choice between 4 of these and 3 of them, and I decided to go with more of these because these have more of a useful play later on. These just force good blocks, and if not, you get a free card. Nothing wrong with that. Shoot. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's go with the obvious. 4 Aggrodils. You gotta run 4. You're trying to get his effect off. You want his effect off early as possible. After 4 damage, you're gonna ride over him. 11k is great, but nothing beats this. First off, why 4? Well, I want to guarantee she's going to ride over Aggrodil on 4 to 5 damage when my opponent has it. Instead of them getting hit with a possible no higher than 21 with the 10k booster in this, I'm forcing extra shields. If they don't have a purpose shield, I'm drawing out an extra card. Or I'm forcing a 2k to come over. Grade 2 to come over to intercept. Do I use her effect? Not as much, because I'm afraid to. I can tell you more times than not, I would do her effect, the card go face down, it's always a heal trigger, crit trigger, and it just makes me sad. So I stopped using her effect, and I use her nothing but for a limit break. Now, I said it earlier, why don't I run the other grade 3s that, boost an Angel Feather, 20,000 sweet number? Well, I could care less about the sweet number when my Vanguard's swinging at you for 25,000 after Aggrodil is done with you. It gets me to that 25 mark, and if you got 11k, it makes no difference. It's still the standard block of a 21. But the 25 is a great number. Against most decks, don't run 11k Vanguards, at least not in this stage of the game. Later on, it does get more common to see 11k, if not 12k. But right now, it works. Will it change? I don't know. So that's pretty much it for grade 3s. Changes after what you saw. These 2 were not in the video, as you saw earlier. I gotta find them. I added these in recently. Before I had My Pretty Ponies, where you swap 1, gain 2, 9k booster. I was running them for a while, but if you do the math, it's not really worth it. I'm going to gain an extra 1,000 onto a 10k booster, or instead of over 8s or this game is in multiples of 5s, not 1s. So 1,000 ain't going to make a difference. The sweet numbers are 20, 21. Anything under, there's no point changing around. You're going to go with what's convenient. This has more of a convenience factor than the other ones. Now, if you're running the chain, which I ran before that since it came out, they're great. But because I just think Aggrodil is just the way to go right now, and even with set 7, Aggrodil is just, you gotta give it a chance. It's consistent, strong, great, and the only issue Aggrodil has is with 2 other decks, and one of them is my other deck, which you'll see in the next video. So that's it, and I'll turn this over to your announcer.
Alright, thanks for sharing. Feel free to rate, like, or subscribe, and we'll be back in a few seconds with a look at his other deck, which I'll let him surprise you next video. Also, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description, so
Yay.
Feel free to check it out and subscribe to
My
him.
channel is mainly just, I don't put any of this stuff up. This is a hobby, but I put up mostly video games, playthroughs. I have a couple of Diablo 3s. I will have Star Wars up there soon, PlanetSide 2 once the lift is up. I cannot post videos on it now. We'll have Guild Wars 2 up soon-ish. What else do we have up there? We got League of Legends coming up now, and a few other games. So also I take requests for games. I pretty much have every MMO out there right now.
Alright, So if that's what you like, feel free to head over to his channel and like and subscribe to him. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Thanks for watching, guys.